Ryan from Alberta Skylights Elite Roofing. How's it going today?
Pretty good, Trevor. How are you?
Amazing, amazing. So we were talking about maintenance tips that Edmonton homeowners can do to winterize and prepare for winter for their roofs, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Season's coming up a little quicker than you might think. The leaves are changing. School's about to start. Might be a good time to, just do some maintenance around the house. Make sure everything's going to be good to go.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I mean, even though it is a little bit bittersweet because we know that the long cold winter is coming.
What I think you mean is the mosquitoes are about to go away.
True. I mean, there's silver lining to every cloud, right?
Yeah.
So get us started. When it comes to doing maintenance, what can a homeowner do regarding their roof for wintertime?
Well, the first thing is going to be whether or not you have the tools and equipment to get onto your roof, a ladder that's safe, and whether you're comfortable being up there. And first things first, if you're not comfortable or if it makes you nervous, don't. If you're nervous, I don't want to see anybody get hurt on it. But let's just assume you have good access to your roof. It's not ridiculously steep and you are comfortable going up there. I would say one of the first things you should be looking when you get up there is your eave troughs. How full are they? Are they clogged with leaves? What's going on in there? How many times I see in the wintertime troughs that are just right, solid, and plugged. If they're full of water, that's going to cause ice backing up on your roof, leaks, rotting out your fascia, rotting out the bottom portion of your roof. So that's a pretty important one, making sure that your water is flowing on your troughs properly. Another one you could really be looking at when it comes to your gutters is taking and seeing if there's any drips. Water that's forming down on your sidewalks is going to cause somebody to go for a banana peel ride in the dead of winter. I think we've all seen that. So those are pretty important ones. You can take and clean those up. You can get some silicone, clean that up, recaulk them. That's the first one I would be taking a look at. Since you're in the gutters, how many granules are in there? You're always going to expect a little bit of granules from your shingles in there, but if they are right full of granules, probably a good idea to have somebody take a look at the roof as a whole. Those are early warning signs that your roof is about to let go.
Pretty solid stuff.
Pretty basic.
Couple of good warnings there as well. So if somebody is not comfortable getting up on the roof, call somebody. Like, who do they call? Would they call you? Would they call somebody else?
Well, there's a lot more to be looked at than just the gutters. That's
Okay.
one thing to go on. If you're not comfortable going on there, absolutely call a roofing contractor. They can clean out the gutters. Call a gutter contractor. Some really good guys in the city can take care of that as well. There's other things to look at while you're there, though. That's just your first step. Once you're on the roof, one thing you're going to want to take a look at for exposed nails. A lot of times when you look at the bottom of a vent, you'll see there's nails that are there. They're poking up, backing out. If you can see the nail head, chances are pretty good there's a leak that's about to happen in that spot there. It's not as bad in the summertime when the water can run off of it. You start getting a bunch of ice and snow building up in there. That can kick back in there as well. Ideally, you'd replace those with a rubber-headed screw, or you could just get some silicone, caulk those back down as well. Clean the old tar off. A lot of silicone doesn't work with asphalt, so clean it off and caulk it back down. Other things to look at while you're on your roof, are there any shingles missing? Are there any shingles loose? You should not easily be able to pull one shingle apart from the other. If you can take and lift that shingle up and it lifts up, that's a good chance you're going to have wind damage coming up on your roof sometime soon. So some good things you could take a look at from there. Anything that seems off to you, take a picture. If you've got a picture of something and you send it to a roofing contractor, they'll probably be able to tell you right off the hop, hey, yeah, you've got a real issue there, or, oh, no, that's okay. Most of us in the industry, we don't mind giving you a quick little, send us a text message or reach out to somebody. We'll tell you what's up.
So that's with, people who have, your typical gutters and asphalt shingled roofs, people with shakes. What are they looking for?
Cedar shakes, you're going to want to take a look at things for, are they dry rotted? Whenever you step on it, is it falling apart? Taking a look for shakes that are split or cupped. Shakes have a tendency to fall out whenever they start to break off. Other things that you'll notice on a cedar shake roof, the valleys will be rusted out because cedar has a metal valley all the time. Once that valley metal starts rusting out, that's a good indicator that your roof is getting up there. We see average life expectancy on cedar about 18 to 25 years in Edmonton. Some of the old cedar used to get like really good heavy cedar. You get 35, 40 years on it, but that's pretty much a thing of the past at this point.
Yeah. Cedar shakes are a different thing. Our neighborhood, that is the thing. They actually just approved EuroShield.
Well, yeah, EuroShield's a really cool product, and it's Alberta made too. Recycled tires out of Calgary. Very, very good for impact rating. It looks a lot like cedar. You can also get it to look like slate. Very neat product. We've done quite a bit of those.
When you're talking about roofing, maybe we talk about skylights too.
Yeah, absolutely.
So maintenance items for skylights in preparing for winter.
Skylights are, well, I guess it depends on the skylight you've got. If you're talking about a nice glass skylight, reasonably new, there isn't a lot of maintenance on them if it was installed properly, meaning the flashing kit is done proper. If the contractor made their own flashings, you'll know because there'll be a hole on all four corners where they've cut the metal to bend it around. You're going to want to make sure that there is no hole for water to get in. That's usually siliconed, and that's taken care of in there. Velux makes a really good flashing kit, so you don't have to worry about that. It doesn't become a maintenance issue, but a lot of people don't use them, so that's something you could take a look at. When it comes to an acrylic skylight, there's a handful of things you're going to want to see in there. First things first, take a look at the edges where the plastic meets the metal frame of that skylight. A lot of times you'll see micro cracks all the way through there, and that's like a really quick early warning. This thing's going to split at any given time. Another thing you'll see is, on the edges of your skylight, there'll be a black, almost looks like a tar is kind of running into the skylight. That's the butyl sealant. The butyl never cures. It just it stays soft the whole life of it. But it'll end up getting sucked in between the two panes of your skylight over time. The inner pane moves at a different rate than the outer pane. The outer pane is unconditioned space. The inner pane is conditioned. They have to move independently or they'll split. What ends up happening with it is that butyl over time works its way into the two panes of the skylight. When it works its way into those two panes, that's your early warning signs. Hey, this thing is getting old. It's getting ready to die. That butyl is what's sealing the trapped air between those two panes, which gives acrylic skylights a lot of their efficiency. Once you start getting air moving in there, all bets are off. You're going to end up with condensation, all sorts of issues in there.
Right. That's what it looks like, a fish bowl.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. You definitely want to take a look at that. The other thing you're going to see, same thing what we talked about with the glass skylights, almost all acrylic skylights, in fact, every single one I've seen has a site-built flashing kit, so all four corners are going to get in there. A lot of times those flashings are rusted out. If you've had your roof replaced and they did not replace the skylight, there's a very good chance that those flashings are 35 years old, however old your roof was, they're still going. So you want to make sure that there's no holes in there. Once again, looking for exposed fasteners. Those are things that a homeowner can take and clean up on their own real easily.
So what are some of the common mistakes that people make when they're doing maintenance on their own roof?
Big common mistake I see is not understanding how a shingled roofing or shake, same idea, how a sloped roofing system works. Water needs to run off. Just because you take and you see, hey, that could be a problem where water can get in there, don't go and put a gallon of tar on there. Don't caulk it solid. A roofing system such as shingles or shakes require water to be brought to the surface. That first layer is only going to stop the majority of water. It is known that water is going to get behind there. So if you take and you just, I'll just fill this whole thing with tar, you've created a water trap. Now the water has no way but to go into your house. Not only have you made it harder for a contractor to fix that, harder to diagnose it, you've almost guaranteed you're going to exacerbate your problem. If you need more than, one or two little squirts of a caulking gun to solve your problem, you've already lost. Stop. If you think that's the plan, you just stop. There are tons of good videos on how to do it properly online, YouTube. We've got some stuff in there. Check us out on Facebook. You'll find some good answers, or just call. Once again, most of us don't mind giving advice. Just let us know what you're dealing with. Shoot us an email with a picture. We'll let you know what's up.
Nice. Is there anything that I might have missed or haven't brought up in our conversation about roof maintenance for Edmonton homeowners?
I think we've covered pretty much some really good tips that you could look at.
Awesome. Hey, thanks so much for sharing with us.
Yeah, of course.